Hey everyone, you're watching Ash on Comics. My name is Ash. And here's today's comic, Blood Realm number 2. Brought to you by Alterna Comics. $1.50. Yep, Alterna Comics are $1.50. Look at this. These are very indie comics. I'm not going to fool you. This isn't Marvel or DC or even Image. However, the books are less than half the price. In some cases, a third of the price. And there's quality here. Peter Simity, who runs Alterna Comics, he doesn't just accept anyone to publish under his line. He has a submission process. So there's quality control. He's not just pumping out trash to fill his publishing line. But understand that people who make comics for $1.50 aren't the AAA, they're not the major leagues. That you have to go in there understanding. If you compare these comics to that and go, well, it's this is no Batman White Knight, well, you're just fooling yourself. Blood Realm I picked up because I just love the aesthetic of this stark black and white, but a lot of red flair to it. It just speaks out to me. I wish this wasn't here. Peter, I don't know. Do you have to have these on the front? Can they? I guess you can't put them on ad. I don't know what the deal is. But anyways, that's a minor quibble. I did a review on the first issue. Blood Realm, Dark Covenant Part 2. Number 2 in a 3-issue limited series. Very low commitment to these, right? You get the whole 3-issue limited series for about the price of a single comic book. You're not going to get ripped off. Even if you buy one issue and you hate it, you spend $1.50. These, so far, every alternate comic I've read so far is better than a Marvel comic. Maybe not the best Marvel comics. I know Marvel has a couple of things like Venom that they're doing okay on, but their standard Marvel comic, it's better than X-Men. Here we go, let's say that. Alterna Comics, better than X-Men. And I say this as a huge X-Men fan. Like, X-Men was what got me into comics. Anyways, you don't care about that. So we start off. 3 supernatural beings embark on a treacherous quest to stop a bloodthirsty general from obtaining a sacred relic powerful enough to obliterate the last kingdom of men. Alterna Comics presents Blood Realm. Now, when I say this isn't a comic, I think I said that already. It's not. I mean, it looks like a comic. It walks like a comic. It's not priced like a comic. But no, and this is newsprint, by the way. And when I first got into, I'm going to tangent again. When I first got into Alterna Comics, I was like, I don't want shitty ass newsprint. But now that I've been reading them, I'm just discovering I miss newsprint. I miss it. It's fantastic. It has a textural quality that I love. There's nothing shines on it. Notice most of the time I'm like, sorry about the light, but perfect. I think this is where comics need to go. Back to newsprint, lower the cost of the floppies, put the fine quality in the trades, and you can have the better paper there for people, people who want this is my favorite story. I don't know if you're like me. I will pick up a trade of a comic series that I liked, so I have reading copies. And so I can appreciate that, but today they want to sell trades like comics. So anyways, what I mean this is not like a comic book is kind of look at it here. These are one of the few word balloons you're actually going to see. This is more like an illustrated children's story. Okay, a couple more word balloons. But really, you're not going to see many of it. It's all narration. First person. Told from the viewpoint of this guy. And he's on this journey with these 3 beings called the 3 sisters. And you see them here. And it starts off, Come to save this pathetic imp? Have at you, witch. This realm is ours. And it's got the three sisters here, and the sisters were poised, unmoved by the snarling Satyrians, and I, just a helpless spectator. The horror that followed was unspeakable. The sisters ravaged my tormentors, both body and soul. The Satyrians shrieked as their flesh became bare and their joints jerked and contorted violently until their limbs were severed from their bodies. When it was over, their corpses were unrecognizable. This is probably the most gruesome part of the book. It's not a children's story in that aspect. You're probably not going to want to sit down with your 5-year-old and read this to them. The pictures are a little gruesome, but the sense and feel of it, of how it's told, feels like a children's story, just with much darker tones. And you can see this is a very common thing, a full-page illustration with some text. So most children's books are kind of like that, right? You'll have like a full-page illustration and then some text right here, and then you'll flip the page and the same thing goes. So this uses panels instead of pages. So it kind of marries a comic book with the illustrated story. But you can see here, the whole book is like this, just told, with this narration, this first person, this guy telling his story. And I don't want to spoil anything for you. And there's lots of panels with just no words. It's a very fantasy story, very Tolkien-esque type thing. Questing journey, meeting certain characters. There's a dragon, spoiler. Someone dies, spoiler. I'm sitting here flipping through. I don't want to spoil this story for you. These are one of those special comics that you should just experience. And I can sit there and flip through every page and cover in detail what's going on, but it's not going to enhance your understanding of whether you should get this book. I'll even show you the last page here, which isn't going to spoil anything because you won't know the context of what's happening. They even do the whole thing that fantasy novels do. They put a map of the land and show you where the travel went. I like this book. I'm very happy. Then they even have some little bios of some of the characters. There's that dragon. So you can learn a little bit more about their history if you care. And that's it. Oh, hey, speaking of which, shout out, Newsprint is back. Now available for $1.99 or less in your local comic shop. There's only one comic that's $1.99. It's this one. It came out on a Wednesday, and it's an anthology. And it's like 50 or 60 pages. It's pretty thick. That's why it's $1.99. All the other books are $1.50. I've read Exilium. I think I did a review of Exilium. This is a good book with good art. I'm enjoying this. This is just sci-fi, Earth versus aliens, kind of alienation-ish. I have this. I haven't read it yet. I do not know about these, but I know a lot of people are raving about Psycho KO, so I kind of want to check that out. But that all said, Blood Realm, number 2. I love it. This book is right up my alley. If it were $3.99, I would probably have to parse it out, to be honest. And that's only because I'm on a budget. And I love superhero comics. That's my bag. I love the mythos of the superhero. I think it's just a strong American cultural thing. It's something that's come from our society. It's something I've grown up with. I love the shared world. So like I buy into, DC or used to be Marvel because not only did I like certain characters, but I liked that world that they lived in, and they all shared that world, and their actions in that world would affect other characters and vice versa. I love that genre. Blood Realm is not that genre, and even though I like it a lot, at $3.99, I couldn't get it because of budgetary reasons, but I wouldn't have anything negative to say about it. You saw the art yourself. It's obviously not top tier pro level, but there's a certain style to it that this artist has that I find, the more I look at it, very appealing. It has an aesthetic that I really like. By the way, the creators are Robert Geronimo and Thomas Maurer. This is a book I recommend. If you like fantasy, fairy tale stories of this nature, of good versus evil, it's $1.50. It's your pocket change. This is entertaining, and you'll feel good about having this in your collection. When you look at all the other trash books that you get ripped off on, you bought it and you're like, oh, I was looking forward to this new issue of so-and-so, and it's just total garbage. You won't feel that way about these. This is fun. I read this and I immediately was like, man, I really want to go back and read the first issue again, because I just liked how the story was told and I wasn't remembering all the details as much. So I'm going to do that after I get the third issue. I'm going to read it and then I'm going to read them all. And I'm really glad. I might even actually buy the trade digitally. Or I'll probably get the comics digitally. By the way, if you are a digital person, many of Alternate Comics are only $1. Not even $1.50. So if you're like, I don't even buy these, Comixology, 99 cents most all their books. So you can get this whole story for $3 when the final one's out. The only caveat is, and I actually like that they do this, the digital copy is not released for like a month. So print buyers who buy from the stores and stuff get a little advantage. You get it early, and then you can get it digitally later for cheaper. It's an incentive to buy the physical book and help stores. But I might actually get this, because even though I was lavishing on the newsprint, I really want to see this on stark white. I think the contrast, the newsprint is a little dull. It has that off-white, newspaperish. And the way this comic is, the red, I want the bright reds and the whites and the darks. So seeing that on, my tablet and so forth, it really stands out. Anyways, I'm just babbling right now. Blood Realm is something you need to check out. This is, I don't know if it might be my favorite book from Alterna so far. I don't have that many. I'm still exploring them. Alterna is hard to get. Pick up one Alterna book. I challenge you that. If you are a fan of comics, this is what I did. I was like, well, the problem with Alterna is they don't have that shared universe that I like. I really like superheroes. They don't really have any. But I do like sci-fi and I do like fantasy sometimes. So I picked up a fantasy and a sci-fi book. I challenge you. Look at their lineup and say, is there one comic that looks somewhat interesting to me? Buy an issue. Support Peter Samiti. He's one of the best guys in comics, trying to do right by giving you really affordable comics. He's doing everything that comics should be doing, and try it out. If you can't find the books, you can buy them directly from him, and usually you can buy like bulk things, like you can buy like a whole set of books. It's really cool. I support this guy. I love what he's doing. I genuinely like this comic. I'm not just trying to shill. So I'm very excited. Thumbs up, move the needle. Please try this book if it's your cup of tea. If there's something at all that looks like, hey, I wouldn't mind reading a story like that. Check it out and let me know what you think. I'm curious to hear alternative viewpoints or same viewpoints, whatever. I don't know many people that read these books. It's like everyone reads Batman, but who's reading Blood Realm? All right, thanks for watching. Talk to you later. Bye.